Cancel.
Squeezy.
So, we're continuing our movie series on... Fucking movie series. We're continuing our Christmas movie series where I just talk about Christmas movies that I watched during Christmas time. So, this year is no different. So, you know, this is our fourth year. We're 3 years old, but we're 4 years into Christmas movies. We've done some of the classics. We've done the ones I hated. We did some ones I've never seen. Today, we're going to go over a little mix of all of it. White Christmas, a movie starring Bing Crosby and that other guy. But I think the other guy was a little bit better. I don't know. No, Bing Crosby was good too. I don't know. Didn't he beat women? You know? Did he beat George Clooney's hot aunt? We're going to call Betty in this movie George Clooney's hot aunt. At least when she was young. I saw a picture before she died, and she was just an old lady. So, you know, remember, good looks are forever. So, anyways, though, I was suggested this movie by fellow Schwoke Lord, part of the Council of Schwelders, Joshua Casey, author of Tracking Desire, A Journey After Swallowtail Kites. He suggested this movie to me, and usually I don't take movie suggestions from him, and by usually I don't, I mean I always do, and I am always disappointed. The last thing he suggested I watch was the movie Donkey, which was a short film. It was a good short film, but it was about a guy whose dad was on his deathbed in the hospital, and when that in like the last year and a half happened to someone, you know, someone's dad died and they were sick with the disease and they died from it, you know, that's the last thing you should be sending them is the short film Donkey. So I took a chance on Josh Casey again. I don't think he was the one who told me to watch Jack Frost last year. Was a goddamn mess. Less than a year before my dad being dead, a movie about a dead dad that was heartfelt, dude. Jack Frost was not a good one for me. I'm never gonna watch that fucking shit again. But anyways, the White Christmas though, I remember the thing is, the only memories I have of White Christmas were of my dad watching it. My dad was the man who died with Cable. Like, you know how like we're like Cable's really dead now? That was with my dad because he was like the one guy. Like he was never like he used Disney Plus because he was always interested in like The Mandalorian and stuff like that. So he did use it, you know, and my mom would like to watch a show and so they watch it, you know. But like him by himself, like he was on Cable. Like he could switch through sports, then he could go back to that final like scene from A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth. You know, he watched that, then you go to... So I've seen clips from White Christmas, but I've never seen the full thing. So I've already seen it by this point, but I wrote this part. I'm like, I haven't seen the movie yet, but it was really good. It was really good. I'm going to say a lot of mean shit about this movie, but like, it was actually really good. Like, you know, like... If you don't like singing and dance numbers, you're not going to like this movie. But if you're like, I can appreciate it when it's really good, or like I enjoy watching it when, you know, even when it's, because this is like top tier. Like if you know, when it comes to like musicals and shit like that, it's like if you go to like a show on Broadway, like even if the show kind of sucks, like it's Cats or whatever, like it's still going to be a good show because like the actors, they're such good singers and shit like that. It's going to be good. That's what this movie is. It's like, even if you don't really like that shit, like they're so fucking good. Like, not George Clooney's hot aunt, the other lady, you know, the sister, like she was great. Like she was really good. Even George Clooney's hot aunt, she was good too. I like calling her. He's a 60-something-year-old man. His aunt died. She's been dead for at least 2 decades now. And I'm calling Rosemary Clooney George Clooney's hot aunt. And guess what? It's still a good joke, so I'm going to continue doing it. So anyways, though, let's make Christmas great again. White Christmas. You know, what's wrong with a white Christmas? You know, all Christmases matter. you know? But I do have a lot of thoughts on this movie, and so got to do it. Also, this movie takes place during segregation, which apparently I am not as educated as I want to be. I know it was bad, but I never realized that. I don't know why I never made that connection. Apparently, black people would be okay with segregation if it meant equal resources. You know, if it was all about resources. It was never about like being equal. They just wanted equal resources. You know. Also, that could be wrong. Don't. This is not a part where you should be like, all right, well, I'm writing my dissertation. Better jot this down. I'm writing my dissertation over fucking White Christmas. Better fucking write what this this asshole's fucking talking about. So let's get into the story. Let's get into the story. A lot of great songs, you know, but we're gonna talk about the plot because that's the most important part. So this movie takes place before singing was gay. Okay, so you remember how like singing is gay? You know, there was a time before that when it was not gay, and this was the time. World War II was the time period. Bing Crosby he has another name, but I don't know. I'm just gonna call him Bing. I might call him Shitty Google or Bing Crosby. I always got to mix up with Bill Cosby, but apparently don't do that now. I don't know if either of them were. I don't know who's worse. So singing was not gay. Okay, so it was World War II, and Bing Crosby's just singing songs to a bunch of grown men, and I need to ask my friend this, but like, you know, those USO shows, like you either want to be entertained I think the perfect mix for one of those USO shows would be having like a hot chick who does have a talent like comedy or music or whatever. That person is the perfect person to perform. Because one, they are getting good art sent to them. Because I do think, like, yeah, if you're in fucking Afghanistan, dude, like, there's no way. Like, they probably have a couple good bands around there, but the U.S. military is not going to be hiring those bands. So, you know, they're going to bring in some white people to be singing. And yeah, why not bring a hot chick up there? Like, have her, like, have a talent, you know, but don't let her just be hot. Don't be over for being hot to be hotter, you know. So, anyways, it's Christmas Eve, 1944, World War II, Germany. It said Europe, so I'm assuming Germany or Italy. And so what happens was Bob Wallace, that's Bing Crosby. Phil Davis, that's the other guy with the big nose, who seemed like he put in a little bit more effort into this movie than Bing Crosby did great in this movie, but like the other guy, whose name I don't know, who's probably I could have wrote down, but I didn't. Yeah, he's like, let's be a duo, and Bing Crosby's like, fuck that. And then after their old fucking general decides to retire, fucking that's when they get bombed. And I gotta say, I'm not cut out for war, dude. I don't think humans are meant for this. It's like, you think about it, like other countries, not the United States, other countries, it's just like, yeah, everyone does the military, you know, it's just what happens, you know. You're like, oh yeah, we don't do that. And so I'm just like, I'm proud to be an American where I don't have to die because I will be the dumbest one and I will do something with a grenade and die, and I'll proudly die because America ran out of all the good people first. That would be, that is something like, if America has a draft, we ran out. We have run out of good people. If America has a draft again, we're at a point, you know, it's like the military recruiting is so fucking good. At least how they do it, you know. It might be stupid for joining, but like their recruiting skills, top notch, you know. Yeah, if they're asking me to fucking go in there, I'm like, can you help? I'm like, can it be a video game? Can it be like Fortnite or something like that? Because if it's Fortnite, I might have a chance. You know, you just give me honestly though, if you give me a controller, it has to be third person. If it's first person shooting, I will suck ass. But third person shooting, I'm your guy right there, America. I'm your guy. If you just need me, just let me pull it up whenever I want to. I'll kill whoever I need to. You know, that has to suck though, dude. It really has to suck. If you are killed by a drone, you know how fucking goddamn mad I would be if I was killed by a drone? Like, can some motherfuckers show their goddamn face if they want to fucking murder me? You know? it's like, I don't know, like, can I go out fighting? I don't want some goddamn robot killing me, you know? Like, you know how fucking sad that is? Like, how did your son die, Nancy? Well, a drone killed him. You're like, that sucks. You know, if someone's like, he fought in the heat of battle, you know, down to his last breath, I'm like, cool. You know, that's how I'm going to be remembered. Anyways, though, I talk about singing gay. Oh, yeah, they sang a rousing chorus of they sang. That's how I know this was before singing was gay. It's because they sang to their general. It's the general, right? Go to the general to save some time. General Waverly, yeah. They're just like, they're singing a little song to him. You're like, yeah, I guess singing's not gay. That's what I'm like, I guess singing's not gay yet. Oh, yeah, and then a wall almost falls on Bob, and Phil saves him, and now Bob is in a life debt, apparently, to Phil, and they have to be like a duo act. And is the duo act very straight? No, it's not. It's very gay. And it really doesn't help that in these old fucking movies, like before High Definition has ruined a lot of movies. Like, it's enhanced. It's made a lot of movies better, but it's ruined a lot of them. Like, this is a movie that was very much ruined by High Definition because all the guys were wearing makeup, and it's the kind of makeup that theater kids wear now. And if we know, most men in theater are gay. You can be straight in theater, okay? You know? But the thing is, if you're a straight guy in theater, you have a lot of gay male friends, okay? Like, there's nothing wrong with that, you know? It's like someone's got to sing those parts, but like also like when they have to, like, those guys, the gay guys in theater, they're kissing more bitches than you are, so you can shut the fuck up. So yeah, I guess after they finish their army stuff, they decide to make it big as musicians, and the movie didn't do a good job of saying that, but I guess they're successful. You know, I don't know. I guess they have $100 for train tickets, so I guess they're doing okay. So yeah, then they have a fucking friend in the military. He's like, you want to watch my sisters perform? First of all, if I had a sister, I would not be introducing her to any of my friends. If I knew anyone, if I had a sister and I knew anyone, if I knew anyone with it and I had a sister, I would not be telling any of those guys anything about my sister. Like, that bitch does not exist. I just have a brother. I'm like, he exists. He's pretty fucking fruity. So yeah, I guess they come to watch the show. The Betty, that's George Clooney's hot aunt, and Judy, who I like her more. I don't know. I think I'm more attracted to her. I don't know. There's something about Judy I like a little bit more. So they're singing at a restaurant in like fucking Florida. So Florida did exist back then, back in like the 1950s. You don't think it did, but it did. And you're like, and apparently, well, what the fuck happened? So they meet, they hit it off, you know, yada yada yada. This shit happens. Oh yeah, they found out like, oh no, this was. I also have to mention this was the part of the film where I realized, oh yeah, this is a musical, so it's gonna be pretty gay, and I'm just like, okay. Now we're not going to be talking about gay characters in the movie because I remembered it was a musical. We're like 30 minutes in this fucking movie. And I'm just like, oh yeah, it's a musical. It's going to be gay. You know, musicals are gay. And you know what? I fucking love gay shit. I don't like guys, but I love gay shit. Like, you know, musicals, I'll listen. I don't even care if it's Cats, I'll watch it. I fucking hate that musical. I'll watch it. I'll go to it. I'll watch it as many times as you want me to watch it. I'll watch the goddamn movie version of it if I actually won't do that. I'll see it on Broadway, though. But, you know, I'll see it if, like, the people are good, you know? They're actually like, let's make a good product. So, yeah, they figured that out. Movie's gay. So I guess, like, this is a situation where, like, the girls would, like, live somewhere for a minute, and then they'd perform and shit like that, then they'd move on after whatever, you know? And I guess they were being falsely accused of damaging a rug, and so they called the police about it, which, I don't know, is this when the police were useful? Because if I went to the police and said, hey, this woman damaged my rug. You know what the police would fucking do? They might come up, they would maybe come to you, take notes, and then you would never hear from them ever again. Like, that's what would happen if you fucking had to, but apparently they're going to get arrested. But luckily, after Bob and Phil put on a drag show. Now, the people this movie was made for, the people that were kids when this movie came out, and, the people who would like it as much as they do, are the ones very outspoken about, like, how much they don't like drag shows these days. This movie had a whole ass fucking drag show in the middle of it. And people didn't even... And also, they were lip syncing to these... whatever the fuck sisters' names are. They were lip syncing. And so, people didn't even... People didn't even care they were lip syncing. I would be more mad about the lip syncing. Like, that's why I don't go to drag shows, lip syncing. I saw... someone post that they went to a drag show for brunch or whatever. I'm like, that is way too fucking early to deal with that shit, It's like, drag shows, they're great, They're great. However, I don't want to wake up and go to one, though. Like, let me process existence a little bit throughout the day, and then I'll go to the drag show. I'll go to a drag show in the evening, but do not ask me to go to a drag show right after I wake up. I will be one, a zombie, and then two is like, hey, honey, how are you doing today? I'm like, I can't do this right now. I just woke up. So don't do that. So the girls escape out of the window, and the guys escape with them. And the girls are going to Vermont. They got to do a bunch of shows in Vermont. And so Phil and Bob, they decide, you know what? Let's get laid. And they decide to go with them. So they end up in Vermont. They find out that their old general from the war, General Waverly, he's like the landlord of the hotel, which I think this was back in the day when hotels like were expected to like entertain guests, It's like, oh yeah, you're sleeping here. Like nowadays it's just like, oh, the hotel is just where you fucking sleep. Like this is where you go. This is like your little home away from home. Like that's what a hotel is. Like you go in there, you watch TV, you sleep, and you go out and do things. Like back in the day, like like when things were nicer, like people were like, oh, you get dinner at the hotel, and then you have entertainment. It's like just when America was good, minus the segregation part. Some of the stuff back then was pretty good, and then it's just like, and then you're like realize all the bad shit, and you're like, no, it's not that part I liked. So after figuring out General Waverly, now owns the fucking place, they're like, we're going to put on the best goddamn show you've ever put on. Not the drag show, but the best one. And then they figured out General Waverly was rejected from rejoining the army, which I don't know the fucking rules there. But I wouldn't have another friend do that. Oh yeah, this was like back in the day when you're just like, did I get any mail, sweetheart? And then you're like, oh, yes, you got one letter here. Looks like it's very important, back in the day when it felt like some things were more important than others, Now nothing really seems to matter anymore. God, where the fuck am I in here? Oh, yeah, Bob's like, let's prove the general's not forgotten. He eventually gets a bunch of people to fucking show up, and it's kind of gay. So I don't really want to talk about that. Because I'm not part of the community, so I can't really speak on gay shit. What else happens here? Yeah, they put on the show. Yeah, it's gay. The show was gay. What am I reading here? Ed suggests they put the general on the show and make a big scene of his misfortune. Okay, yeah, and they didn't do that because that sounds like fucking off. That sounds fucking awful. Oh yeah, and then the whole reason for all this was like Betty and Bob, they're like trying to get Bob and Betty together and shit like that. And the worst possible fucking moment of this movie happened. Bob was drinking just a glass of milk. Just fucking weird as shit. You're a grown ass man. It's like you have like a turkey sandwich and a glass of milk. Like we all see the red flag here, right? Like that's not something you should do. That is not something you should do. So that scene happened. They're trying to get the romance going or whatever. Oh yeah, and I think after this, like the movie was just like, how do we get from musical number to musical number, and I think this is it. Phil and Judy, they pretended to get engaged, and like throughout the entire movie, you're kind of like, are they dating or are they just trying to set up their friend and they're just good friends in the meantime, / siblings? And then you're like, okay, I guess they're engaged, and then you find out that shit was not real and stuff like that. And then I was watching the movie, I realized that this movie is not about Christmas at all. This has, the beginning of the movie was like, this happens on December 24th, and then we move away from it, and it's not Christmas for a while, until like the very last minute of the movie. So that's cool. This movie is not about Christmas. It's a Christmas movie. It's called White Christmas. Not about Christmas, literally at all. It's like, impress people. I don't even know what the movie, it's just like, how do I get this bitch to like me? Let's put on a show at their hotel or that they're supposed to be working at. Let's just fucking do it up. So then Betty accepts a gig in New York and leaves her sister, and then they have to go and get her, and that I didn't get that storyline. Like, what the fuck is going on? So your sister got engaged and you're just like, fuck it, I'm going to New York. Like, okay. Like, if you're like, oh, me and my brother are in a band together, and then your brother gets engaged, you're just like, we're still going to do the band, right? And yeah, you have that conversation. You don't just fucking go for another gig. I don't know. Yeah, this is where the movie got real. Oh yeah, then they had their gay little thing for General Waverly. Very, very gay, FYI, if you didn't know. The gayest thing I've seen in a while. And I've seen men fuck each other. So like this was gayer than that. Oh, and also all the men were in like makeup too, because of like, oh yeah, it's gonna be very low picture quality. So it's not gonna. This helps, and now it doesn't. It makes it look a lot worse. Now we get to Christmas Eve. Now it's finally fucking Christmas. Like, we're in a Christmas movie. I think we're like we're at least 20 minutes in to me talking about this movie. It's finally fucking Christmas Eve. Dude, it's barely been Christmas this entire time. So they surprised General Waverly with another chorus of This Old Man. The Old Man, I don't know, gay little song. Betty and Bob become engaged too. It just happened. I don't think they did a good job doing that romance, but who am I to judge? And Judy and Phil, like, they decided to get married too, which the normal people, and then everyone sings White Christmas, and then snow falls, and everything's good to go. So that is White Christmas, folks. That was the entire movie. I'm not joking. So what did we learn about this movie? What did we learn from watching this movie? Because every movie has a lesson. Show tunes are gay. I mean, we all already knew that. This movie also had nothing to do with Christmas. Also very true, this is not a Christmas movie. I will say that. I don't think White Christmas is a Christmas movie. I think it's just an old movie. I think it's just fucking old. It's an old movie. And I guess other things I'd say, high definition has ruined a lot of movies like this one. Fucking watch these guys with fucking eyeliner on. You're like, well, you see here, I'm a tough guy. I'm like, no. Like, I wear eyeliner sometimes. And I don't claim to be a tough guy. So, like, we all know. And also, I guess, don't pretend to be engaged, because it really fucks up your work, too. So yeah, that's White Christmas. Next week, what are we going to do? I don't know. But remember,
when you drink alcohol,
how do I breathe?
Thank you for watching this clip. Watch it again or watch something